Hey everyone. Uh-oh. How about I do that? There we go. That's much better. Anyway, I'm just gonna wait for anyone else to come in and join. Looks like we're still waiting on some people, so. Hey, evening. Take 1 second and check on something. There. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and load us into the game, and we can pick up where we left off. As people will find the stream and show up, they can join on in. How's everyone? Those of you who are in here, I don't know who you are exactly. I don't see who's watching. I just see if you're in the chat. So let's see. She wants to. The consort we talked to last time wants me to talk to a washed-up general. He comes back later eventually. And then I'm set to talk to our companions. So that is going to be our main mission for this time. We're gonna talk to Rex. We're gonna talk to Garrus. We might wind up getting all the way to Liara tonight, but no guarantees there. It might not. We might not be able to go quite that long. I do. That does kind of bring us to one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, which is that the how the story structure of Mass Effect works. Oh, good. Oh, good. Mrs. McCoy just letting me know that the baby's asleep. So that is, I assume she's asleep and not just in bed and upset about that. Oh, Lord, I'm dropping frames. In any case, so if she is in bed, that should be fine. Anyway, so part of what I was wanting to say is it actually relates to why I almost exclusively play as FemShep. I am losing a lot of frames on here still. All right, I'm gonna mess with my settings. Give me a second. it gonna mess with it? I'll turn this down a bit. Particle effects are going to be a problem. Yeah, you can keep it. Texture is fine. Alright, let's play with that. See how if that fixes anything a little bit. Alright, I'm going to see if this corrects things. If it does, I will see it in a moment on the stream. I got it live pulled up. That looks much better. Oh, not quite. Okay. Well, I've got a little bit of time to fiddle with some things before too many people are here watching me just fiddle with graphic settings. Let's change that. It's getting a little better, but that should hopefully wrap things up. Anyway, so. Let me just recap for those of you who are here. Last time we were talking, just talking to the Citadel Council. We were getting our initial mission. It's still lagging pretty bad, isn't it? Why is that?
I've told you before, you're not allowed in here.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's listen to this.
Believes it has the right to move freely through this area.
You're creating a public disturbance. It's against Citadel regulations.
It's getting a little
This
better, I
one
think.
is unsure why the other would not wish word of the enkindlers to be spread.
Alright. I'm going to try changing things one more time, just to make sure. Still graphics. I could... You know what? Particle effects get in the way anyway, so... for what it's worth, I did manage to fix the eyelashes thing. If you were with us last week, you remember that one of my graphics mods was causing all sorts of issues, making eyebrows float off of people's faces. I did manage to get that fixed, as far as I can tell. So I'm not going to have eyelashes and visors and such just sort of wandering around by people's chins anymore. At least I hope not. Let's see. That seems a little better. It's still not good, but... Alright, it's best. I think it is the best we can do. Alright, it's a slight improvement, but we'll see how things turn out. We'll shoot some stuff. Just to see if that makes a difference. Okay. While it's shooting, it's not too bad. Anyway, so if that is giving you any indication of the time of the lag, yeah, I'm not running literally anything in the background, so I could, make sure my task manager is working properly. Let me try something else. Hold on. Widget. That's just okay. That's just an error message. It doesn't help me. I really hope it's not the internet, because my internet is kind of shaky tonight. So hopefully, hopefully we'll just continue along. Hopefully it'll get better rather than worse. I can't make any guarantees on that, but we'll see. Anyway, while we're here, let's talk to these two before I dive into what I was really wanting to talk about.
Do you desire to learn of the enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
What's going on here?
The CSEC officer requests that this one purchase an evangelical permit to spread the truth of the enkindlers.
Who are the enkindlers?
Your people know them as the Protheans. They are the true creators of this one's people. The enkindlers raised the Hanar from ignorance into consciousness by granting this one's people the gift of speech.
Okay, this is super fascinating, so I'm just going to pause here and talk about this for a bit. We find out that this is literally true. That the Enkindlers, or the Protheans, do just create the Hanar. Not create exactly, but they uplifted them similarly to how we find out the Solarians uplifted the Krogan, and who knows how many other species. And it brings up the nature of the relationship between the Hanar as a people and the Protheans as a people, because we clearly have a religion develop from the Hanar worship the Protheans. Now, it depends on exactly what we mean by that, in terms of whether it's, in terms of how we understand it, let's say. It could just mean that there is they have I guess you can call it a pious and filial, respectful relationship to this precursor race that gave them the gift of civilization. On the other hand, and it's kind of implied that this is the case, at least among some members of the Hanar Illuminated Primacy, I think it's called, that they worship the Protheans as deities, or the Enkindlers as deities. Although that is, again, it's up in the air as to which one is really the case. If it is the case that they worship the Protheans as deities, then again we clearly know that's a misplaced form of worship. We don't, given that there are no, or almost no, currently living Protheans, and that the Protheans are a finite biological species who were then wiped out by the Reapers. It's not like they are proper objects of worship. Now, they might be proper objects of sort of filial, pious veneration, right? That the Hanar can respect the Protheans, or they can respect these precursors that gave them this gift of civilization, uplifted them from being primitives, right? Of course, if they have written records of this, it was only 50,000 years ago. Written records on Earth don't go back that far, but Hanar, they perfectly well might, especially if there was this kind of direct interaction with them. So in any case, if this is merely a filial relationship, if this is a kind of filial piety, a respect for a higher, more advanced precursor civilization that granted these gifts to their civilization, that's a perfectly coherent religion. And the interesting part to me is that no matter what they find out about the Protheans, like what winds up being revealed about the Protheans throughout the series, it's not like that's going to be exactly, or at least not fully undermined, because it's based in more or less the truth. That said, I have kind of, we can speculate that eventually, as the war goes on, war with the Reapers and more revelations come out, and the Hanar find out that their gods or their creators or the Enkindlers, hi Kylie, just saw your chat. They find out that they lost this war and they were exterminated by the Reapers, that all of this technology didn't originally come from them, right? So their view of their gods kind of lessens a little bit. Well, I had to take a sip. If that is the case, then yeah, there is something. There's the chance of a kind of diminishment in general piety among the Hanar Illuminated Primacy, or the ones that worship these precursors. What did I just do? Uh-oh. Oh, no. What happened? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Well, I'll keep talking while I try and reset the stream. That's interesting. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. I'm gonna get back into the game and head back over here while I kind of keep talking for a bit. That's unfortunate. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. That's better. And some kind of a glitch came up, so hopefully the setting help fix things a little bit. Skip. Anyway, so like I said, if the Hanar do find out that they're ostensible their gods, or who they refer to as their gods, this precursor creator race is less mighty than they thought, right? For example, looking at the screen, they didn't create the mass relays, they didn't create the Citadel. Even if they did uplift the Hanar, right? They made them what they are, they granted them sort of the gift of civilization, if you want, all that stuff, right? It's understandable in that case that they would worship them in a sense. Oh my god, the lag is back. It's really bad. Well, I have an excellent stream connection. Huh. Alright, I'm gonna try something really fast. Give me one moment. This is weird, but... Hang on. Let me fiddle with some settings. I'm gonna switch to windowed mode, maybe that'll help. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, it's tiny. Why is it so tiny? I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay. That's weird. That's not much, not better. That's not better. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright, that's acceptable. Alright. I can live with that. Probably. We'll see what happens. Alright. Ah, but now I've got to... Gotta move the thing around. I'm really... Again, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm not super good at the whole streaming thing yet. So if you'll excuse the temporary, hopefully temporary amateurishness to this. There. Hi. Great. It's because I changed the resolution. It moved things. Sorry. Alright. Anyway, hopefully this will work. I'm going to keep an eye on the stream. Make sure that windowed mode should make enough of a difference. I know you guys can't really see the edge of that radar there. Okay, that's a little better. It's not great. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes.
I've told you before, you're not allowed in here.
Anyway.
This one believes it has the right to move freely through this area.
We'll come back to talking to this guy now.
You're creating a public disturbance. It's against Citadel regulations.
This one is unsure why the other would not wish word of the enkindlers to be spread.
I'm going to try one more thing. You know, it might be, and I hate that, because I did turn on the film grain, and I love the film grain. But you might be right. It might be messing with things. I'm going to try turning it off. I'm sad about it, but I'm going to try turning it off. I'm going to run around in circles for a minute while I talk. So anyway, the Hanar, these guys. This looks better, I think. It doesn't look better at all. I was wrong. I was incredibly wrong. Oh, jeez. That didn't help at all. Alright, well, you know, I have one more possibility. I'm going to turn the film grain back on because I like it. That's part of the problem. Why is it so freaking massive? If I make it... No. Alright, windowed mode didn't help. Oh, but it will help with... Sorry, yeah, never mind. Sorry, it'll help with the other thing. I am really sorry about this. There. That's hopefully better. I'm going to try one other thing. Yeah. Don't capture cursor. That one. Okay. Game capture. Turn that one off. How's this? Alright, let's see if this works a little better. I'm doing one last little weird thing to see if this works. One last try. Hey, that makes a little bit of a difference. It's still bad. You know? Yeah. There. Alright, you know what? This is the best we're going to get. I apologize for the mess of a stream. I'll try and fix this eventually, but for right now, we're just going to have to kind of deal with it. I'm really sorry about it. Kylie, I don't know exactly. It is, for some reason, something I did to the settings is making a lot of frame dropping happen. I don't know exactly. Hopefully it doesn't get too absurdly bad as we move forward. If it gets really, really bad, yeah, I'll see if I can continue to mess with it. But yeah, it could be Spectrum Internet. I don't know. I don't exactly have full bars right now. So anyway, I'm going to talk to the Hanar. I'm going to talk about the Illuminated Prince.
Do you desire to learn of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
What's going on here?
The CSEC officer requests that this one purchase an evangelical permit to spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
Who are the Enkindlers?
Your people know them as the Protheans. They are the true creators of this one's people. The Enkindlers raised the Hanar from ignorance into consciousness by granting this one's people the gift of speech.
Let me talk to the CSEC officer. Perhaps I can explain the situation.
This one would be most grateful for the assistance. Please let this one know if success is achieved.
Anyway, like I was saying, I find this relationship between the Hanar and the Enkindlers, or the Protheans, their gods, this precursor race, I find this super interesting, like I was saying, just because of how they, of how the relationship works and how that, what we learn about the Protheans throughout the series only changes it somewhat, because the kind of religion, the kind of worship that it is a very, like I said, for the most part, a fairly limited relationship of sort of filial piety.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
I think you should let the Hanar preach in the Presidium.
The Presidium is a place of culture and respect. It should not be filled with zealots shouting their idiocy. Why should the jellies get special treatment? Every other species understands and obeys the laws.
Oh hey, I've got Paragon points.
Has anyone actually complained about this Hanar?
Not yet, but any good CSEC officer removes problems before they create a public nuisance.
You've explained the law. If the Hanar gets in trouble, it has nobody to blame but itself.
I suppose I can tell my superior that I attempted a diplomatic solution. Some other CSEC officer can arrest the Hanar. It's no longer my problem. Thank you for your assistance.
I will say that I love Shepard's response there. That has anyone actually complained about this being a problem? And apparently not. No, this is just somebody busybodying. Because I don't know. Let's be space racist and say it's a Turian thing.
The officer has left, and this one is free to share the glory of the Enkindlers. This one offers its appreciation.
Yeah, Mrs. McCoy, same thought. Absolutely. Yeah.
Happy to help.
This one has little money, but it can offer this. Now finally, this one can continue sharing the truth unimpeded. Let all races herald the glory of the Enkindlers who raised the
Glory to the Enkindlers. So, what's neat about, like I said, what's neat about this is the kind of religion it is. It's not a, it's only transcendent insofar as they're sort of gods, if you want to call them gods. The beings that they worship or they venerate are very important to their culture. It's a kind of ancestor worship, for the most part, without the spiritual aspect. Which essentially means that they have something like a, I don't know, almost a metaphysically appropriate relationship with the Protheans, who are sociologically important to their people, but they are not.
So Williams,
creators of the universe.
On with Commander Shepard?
They never really claimed.
I'm not sure,
apparently.
Lieutenant. Every time I think I have a handle on things, the universe banks hard to port.
Well, don't let anybody know. A big gun and a confident attitude will get you through a lot in life.
Mrs. McCoy says, that is CJ, by the way, those of you looking in the chat. This is a place of culture and respect. How dare you share your culture? I'd add, how dare you share your culture respectfully? that is super Turian, because Turians embody the most authoritarian aspects of humanity, if nothing else. Anybody interested down here?
He always stops in for a few games of Quasar before he makes his drop.
Oh my gosh. All right, I really just need to point out the massive improvements with the textures
We want him angry.
with everybody.
Angry people make mistakes.
If you've played this game without the mod I'm using, check it out. Look at the facial textures and stuff. The people actually look unique rather than just generic NPCs. I love that. Anyway, I'm just having a great time with that sort of thing. I love it. Ooh, a keeper. These are mysterious organisms that keep this mysterious space station running, because that's totally safe and definitely not a trap. Yeah, and I'm scanning them to see what's up with them, which, realistically seems like a good idea now that you think about it. Try and figure out what's going on there,
Those Asari commandos are impressive. Lightly armored, but their speed more than makes up for it.
Unless that speed lets them outrun bullets, I'm more inclined to stick with nice, solid armor and a big gun.
Point taken.
Does anyone recognize the song that was playing there? This is the combat theme, so I know that. It's just elevator Muzak version. But the previous one, I don't know exactly what that was, but it was super familiar. I'll gradually get to them. I'm not obsessive at the moment. If I desperately need to do it, I'll just do it off stream. There's one. And you have to do this one now, because this becomes a firefight location later. You can tell because of the strategic cover. Anyway, so while we are on our way to go and find, I guess we're going to Rex first. I meant to be going to. Oh, never mind. We're going to see Rex first before Garrus in CSEC Academy. There's one. Random human. Hi.
Hey, I know you. You're Shepard. I saw the monument at Akuz. They got a whole section about you there. It's a miracle you survived.
Looks like you have a fan.
I'm sorry, I just never thought I'd meet someone like you in person. My name's Lang, Officer Eddie Lang, Citadel Security. It's an honor to meet you, Commander. What are you doing down here in the wards? Anything I can help you with?
What do you know about specters?
Just the stuff they show in the vids. They always make them out to be super agents on secret missions to save the galaxy. I know it's not really like that, though. Some of the other CSEC guys don't like them too much, figure they shouldn't be able to operate outside the law. But if they were so bad, the Council wouldn't use them, right?
Do you know a CSEC officer named Harkin?
I shouldn't really say too much. He's been on the force a lot longer than me. But I've heard things, you know? Drinking on the job, taking bribes, that kind of thing. Rumors mostly, but they suspended him, so some of it must be true.
How do you like working here on the Citadel?
This place is amazing. I've been here almost a year, and I still haven't seen a tenth of it. The Presidium's just so beautiful. Good place to go and relax. But I really like it here down in the wards. There's always something going on somewhere. Like that new club they just opened a few months ago, Flux. Wicked scene in there, Commander. You should check it out when you have some time.
Yeah, Kylie, I feel like he's fanboying. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those nice little touches that remind us that Shepard, even when you, right out of the gate when you start the game, Shepard is a hero, and everyone knows that. N7, the designation that she has in the Alliance military, is the top-ranked elite special operatives. So, yeah, she's already a walking death machine before you even really start the game. So it really sets the context for her becoming, the hero of the whole galaxy.
Why'd you join Citadel Security?
I don't know. Seemed like the right thing to do, you know? Maybe it's in my blood. My grandfather was a cop back on Earth. It's kind of what CSEC is. Police for the Citadel. I'm still pretty new at it, but I like it so far. Way more interesting than staying back on Earth. You get to meet all kinds of cool aliens, like those Hanar. Wild. Plus, CSEC gets a lot of respect here. We uphold the law. People, even aliens, appreciate that.
That's going to bring back the whole... that's going to bring back the bit about what aliens are.
I have to go.
That kind of thing.
Right. You're probably real busy. Well,
I don't want to
see
go
you
off
around,
on that
Commander.
again. I already spent most of last stream talking about it, so CSEC Academy, cool. Yeah, just wait till you see Conrad. If you feel like explaining to Kylie who Conrad is and what exactly that entails, feel free. Otherwise, we can just wait and see. He's kind of right over that way a bit, I think, right now. I guarantee we will see him tonight. Anyway. Muzak version of the main Citadel.
How you holding
theme.
up, Lieutenant?
I love it. I hate
Not
this.
too bad. No headaches worth mentioning lately. Maybe I'm getting used to the strain.
Maybe you've just got a good stress release. I know that knocking the geth on their synthetic asses gets rid of my headaches.
As a reminder, he has experimental cybernetics that make him early stage of biotic implants. Biotic being the telekinesis stuff. Space magic. Anyway, one of the things I really wanted to talk about, and it really is brought up by what we're doing now. Like, what is the main quest, and how are we going about doing it, and what are we really up to? Right? Because right now, let me bring something to everybody's attention. So our mission. This is our main mission. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Main priority mission: investigate Saren. You need to find some proof that Saren's connected with the Geth. So what are we supposed to do about that? How are we doing it? Well, that's a good question. Here's what we need to do. We need to find somebody. Harkin. So then we can find somebody. Garrus. And we need to find this guy. We needed to find Barlavan, we talked to last time. Information broker. So we can gather more information, and so we can talk to this guy, Rex, who we're about to go see. This is then going to lead us to somebody else as well, etc. So the interesting thing about especially the initial part of the story of Mass Effect 1 is how we develop our goals, right? How are we really pursuing the goal of exposing Saren? And it's primarily by a kind of
witnesses saw you making
expanding
threats
our
in Fist's
relationships
bar.
and
Stay
finding
away from
people
him.
who can help.
I don't take orders from you.
This is your
Pick this
only
up on
warning, Rex.
You should warn Fist. I will kill him.
You want me to arrest you?
I want you to try.
Go on. Get out of here.
Yes, human.
I'm trying to bring down Saren. Barlavon said to talk to you.
Barlavon is a wise man. We may share a common goal, human.
Enlighten me.
I've been hired to kill the owner of Korra's Den, a man named Fist. He did something very foolish.
What'd he do?
He betrayed the Shadow Broker. A Quarian showed up here on the Citadel. She was on the run. She wanted to trade information for a safe place to hide, so she went to Fist. He promised to arrange a meeting between her and the Shadow Broker. Instead, he contacted Saren.
Fist's not too smart.
He's just greedy. Saren paid him a small fortune for the Quarian. He had to. She has evidence connecting him to the Geth.
If we get our hands on that evidence, we can prove that Saren's a traitor. And the Council will have to listen to us.
Where's the Quarian now?
Last I heard, Fist still had her. Probably somewhere inside his club. You help me kill Fist, she's all yours.
Kylie says, Rex looks like an intense Master Oogway from the Kung Fu Panda franchise. I get that. Yeah, I can see that. Super intense. He is way down to business. And you might be surprised to hear me say this, but less prone to absurd amounts of violence than most members of his species.
I want to know more about your employer.
Can't tell you much. All I got was a coded message with the details of the job. Standard procedure.
What about Garrus, that Turian? He wants to take Saren down too.
He might come in handy.
He was here just before you showed up. Said he was going to follow up a lead on his investigation. Wanted to speak to the doctor at the med clinic.
Move out.
Okay. Now, who do I take? Ashley and Rex. It's gonna be Garrus and Rex once we get to Garrus. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, also worth noting, Rex is like 800 years old or more. From my understanding, Krogan are biologically immortal. They only die if they are killed. They don't die of natural causes. I'm just gonna get his assault rifles until I get shotguns, and then shotguns all the way. So yeah, he is very almost ridiculously old, even by Krogan standards. And like I said, Krogan are basically, they are biologically immortal. They only die when you kill them. So I need stasis. Making up a tank. Yeah, I know, Caden's the best boy. He's great, and I'm fine killing Fist. That is Rex's job. I'm not gonna get in the way of him doing his job. Do advanced throw. I don't love stasis, really. It's kind of okay, but it's not great. That. There, that'll work. And the last point, I will upgrade throw. Alright, sounds good. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to hang out at Ashley for right now. I'm eventually going to swap her out, like I said, for Garrus. Once I get Garrus. So it'll be Garrus and Rex when we go to confront Fist. Just checking around up here, seeing how things go. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. While I look around, I want to mention...
Let me get this straight.
Nothing here. I want to mention what I was just talking about. So, the interesting part of the beginning of this game especially, but really the whole thing, and then ultimately the whole franchise, all three games are more or less like this. excuse me, they start primarily with the mission of gather a crew. Find people who are going to be helpful for what you are trying to do. They don't start off. Kylie, I'm going to pass back by Conrad on the way to find, either on the way to find Garrus or on the way to confront Fist. Depends on which direction I go, and I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see. He'll be around soon. He's delightful. Don't worry. But anyway, this is a kind of an interesting plot structure. It's very different than the kind of hero's journey that you might expect. So I'm going to talk to this guy, then I'll continue what I was saying.
Hey there! Oh, you're not C-Sec, are you? Did you want something?
What are you doing here?
I am Jalid. I came here to seek aid from the authorities, but they won't listen to me. My colleague is trying to kill me, and I thought we were friends.
How do you know he wants you dead?
He's changed. He won't talk to me at work anymore, and he started following me.
He's even whinier
Yesterday,
than most Volus.
He followed me all the way home, just waiting for a chance. I don't care what anyone thinks. He wants me gone. I know it.
Is there something I can do? Talk to your friend, maybe?
Would you? That's all I want. Someone to talk to him.
Yeah, Kylie says,
Tell
oh god,
him
Jalid
to
is
leave
adorable.
me alone.
Volus in general are adorable.
He thinks he can just push me around.
To the point
but
where
you'll show him,
in
won't
the
you?
to the point
Just
where
tell me
in
where
the
he is
third
and I'll go
game
find him.
there is
Right.
in the kind
well,
of
he wanted to meet with me down in the woods near the market.
just for fun DLC.
He said he just wanted to talk, but I know better. His name's Shorban. He's a Solarian. You shouldn't have any trouble. He's just a scientist.
Well, you know, he is underhanded and nasty,
That's
but
the guy who asked us to scan the keepers.
he's super adorable in his way
Keepers?
of being awful.
Well, even more reason to go after him.
But in any
That's
case,
against
yeah,
regulations.
I better look into this right away. Find out what he's up to.
Yeah. In any case, in the third
Anything's
game, in
possible
the
with
Citadel
Shorban
DLC,
these
which is
days.
kind of the just for fun one,
Well, good luck.
you go to an arcade and there's a claw machine, and one of the things you can get from the claw machine is a Volus plushie that I kind of really want in real life because it looks like that. It's super cute. I think, if I remember right, I think it does a little sound effect when you you can click on it, you can activate it, and you squeeze it, and it does a little breathing effect like that, which is it's just hilarious. It's a little bit rude, really, when you think about it. You've got a little plushie of a generic member of another species, but you know, whatever. Anyway, like I was saying about the plot structure of this. This actually ties in somewhat to why I almost exclusively play Shepard as female. Part of that, I'll be upfront about it. Part of it is that I do think that Jennifer Hale, the voice actress, does a phenomenal job throughout. You'll get that experience as we go. Probably better than Mark Meer, who does the male Shepard. Not to denigrate Mark Meer, he's a cool guy from everything I've seen, and he does a great job with voice acting. It's just Jennifer Hale is leagues above, and I'm a fan of her work anyway as a voice actress primarily. In any case, so that's one of it. That is one sort of minor thing, one minor reason why I usually will play FemShep, as she's called. But the main reason is because the plot structure of the Mass Effect trilogy, particularly of the first game, it seems to me an archetypically more feminine than masculine plot structure, and so it has a lot less in common with the traditional hero's journey, which you associate with the masculine hero. So this is where we meet
Didn't
Garrus.
tell anyone, I swear.
That was smart, Doc. Now if Garrus comes around, you stay smart. Keep your mouth shut or we'll... Who are you?
Let her go.
Ah!
Where am I? Okay. Crap, what are my powers? There we go. All right, that's taken care of.
Bag him and tag him.
Perfect timing, Shepard. Gave me a clear shot at that bastard.
You took him down clean.
Sometimes you get lucky. Dr. Michelle, are you hurt?
No, I'm okay. Thanks to you. All of you.
Sorry again for the lag, especially during fights. But there's not much I can do about that. At least at the moment. Like I said, between now and next time, I'll try and fiddle with it and try and fix it. Oh, John, is that you? Cool. Good to see you.
I know those men threatened you, but if you tell us who they work for, we can protect you.
They work for Feast. They wanted to shut me up. Keep me from telling Garrus about the Quarian.
The one I told you about, Shepard.
She must be able to link Saren to the Geth. There is no way the Council can ignore this.
Time we paid Fist a visit.
This is your show, Shepard. But I want to bring Saren down as much as you do. I'm coming with you.
You're a Turian. Why do you want to bring him down?
I couldn't find the proof I needed in my investigation, but I knew what was really going on. Saren is a traitor to the Council and a disgrace to my people.
Welcome aboard, Garrus.
Fist is going to be waiting for us. When we hit him, we better hit him hard.
Okay, Rex and Garrus. Sounds good. Especially because look at that, perfectly balanced. It's wonderful. All right, cool. I'm gonna wait to use that because I'll get it later. Anyway. Ooh. Yeah, so worth noting, this is the Citadel. With its 5 arms, those are the wards, big spinning station, so it doesn't need to use magic artificial gravity. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, as we continue on over this direction, this direction, before I... Oh, I've got somebody else to talk to here.
Excuse me, Commander Shepard!
This will be...
I'm Emily Wong. I'm an investigative journalist working here on the Citadel. Could I have a moment of your time?
What do you need?
I've been hunting for evidence of corruption and organized crime on the Citadel, but there are places I can't go. I was hoping you might share anything you find during your own investigation. I can make it worth your time.
How do you know that my investigation is going to uncover anything you need?
You wouldn't be investigating if it weren't big. And if it's big, it's something I'd like to hear about.
You gotta have access to better sources. Why contact me?
I'm using every source I can find, but I think I've got a better shot with you.
Those of you who have played this game before, I'm a little disappointed that Emily Wong
everyone
wasn't
else in your
carried
squad
through,
got killed.
but it was
if anyone should find the worst
instead,
elements
the
of the
one
Citadel and live to tell about it, it's
Shepard
you.
has a reputation for punching because she's very, very hostile as a journalist. I actually like Emily Wong.
How do you know I'm investigating anything here on the Citadel?
I'm a good journalist, Commander Shepard. Word gets around.
Sounds like a good cause. If I find any information, it's yours.
Ms. McCoy, with that outfit,
Commander.
I think
You
more
won't
people would
regret
be
it.
investigating her. Yup. Yeah, I agree. That is, I think, as a result of that texture pack, and not her default look, but I'm not sure. Yeah, journalists never change, I guess. Particularly, independent in the field kind of journalists.
I don't think you bought this here. I don't sell this model.
Look, I know it was you. I remember your face.
Really, that's impressive. Usually you humans can't tell one Turian from another.
This little exchange becomes really important eventually.
Do you have your proof of purchase?
What? No, I don't think you ever gave me one.
I'm sorry, then. I can't help you.
But, what do you...
Can't help you.
So stupid little exchange, that actually becomes really weirdly important later on. Or you can just think of it as a running joke, one or the other. Okay, here you go, Kylie. This is Conrad Werner.
Wow, it's you. You're Commander Shepard, the hero of Eden Prime. I am so honored to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And you are?
My name is Conrad Werner. They say you killed more than 100 Geth on Eden Prime.
I love that this is a legend and it happened like an hour ago. And a day or two ago. Still, like, really recent.
I spent most of my time trying to stay alive and help the colonists.
Hey, I know you're probably busy, but do you have time for a quick autograph?
Anything for a fan. Here.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. My wife is going to be so impressed. I'll let you get back to work. Oh, but next time you're on Earth, I'd love to buy you a drink. Thanks again!
It seems harmless. Nothing wrong there. No, that's perfectly normal. He's just a super fan. That's all. He's not, he's definitely not dangerous or anything. Or unhinged or anything like that. Not at all. Not at all. Hey, Jordan.
Commander, I wasn't expecting to see you again. Is there something you want?
Oh my god, he's such a cinnamon roll. Yeah, he really is. He is a little weird and unhinged and all that, but he's also, like, he's also really nice in his way.
You can start by telling me the truth, Shorban.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. My experiments are...
We're not buying it. Jalid told us you've been after him.
You spoke with Jalid? Then you know about the data?
No, but you're gonna tell me. Everything.
You boys can go. Looks like my plans have changed. It's not as bad as you think, Commander. Jalid and I just got a little over our heads.
Keep talking.
The company we work for developed an experimental procedure for use in medical scanners. Jalid and I saw even more potential, so we stole the plans and secretly developed a tool to scan the keepers.
Yeah, well, you say, wait, what?
Can you
are you talking about this guy, about Shorban, or are you talking about
get readings from the
Conrad?
keepers?
What's so special about that?
The keepers are almost impossible to scan, and you can't capture them or get samples. They just self-destruct. After centuries here, we still don't know anything about them. Don't you see? We were the first to scan them, ever. You've seen it yourself, Commander. You know we can do it.
Why are you trying to kill your partner?
I'm not trying to kill him. Jalid's job was to disseminate our initial findings. But he decided to keep the data for himself. Maybe to sell it. I don't know.
I should kill both of you idiots.
We lost our heads. We just couldn't let an opportunity like this pass us by, Commander.
I forgot bottom
If you
right
just
is
continue
mean. I
gathering
forgot
data
how
for
mean.
me. Imagine what we might learn. And you'll stand to make a bit of a profit yourself, remember?
I suppose a little scanning here and there won't hurt anyone.
Very good. Maybe if you wouldn't mind speaking with Jalid. The data you're gathering for me is useless if Jalid won't help me analyze it.
I'll go have a chat with him right now.
Thank you. And happy
Well, not
scanning,
right
Commander.
now. I have to shoot people first. Alright. So, anyway, if this isn't immediately a firefight, which I think it might be, uh-oh, autosave, it's probably immediately a firefight. Oh, no, not yet. Yeah, okay. Anyway,
Looks like it's shut down.
oh, it's immediately a firefight. Okay, great.
everywhere!
Is the bartender shooting at me? Just stop. Yeah, so I was saying Conrad is a bit unhinged because he's a bit of a, how do I put it? He's a... You gradually find that he's a little unhealthily obsessed, we should say. Some of that we find in this game, and some of that we only find out later. But he is a little bit more zealous than just a fan. Okay. Everybody, let's
Hold the line!
get. Who did I miss over here? There. That was another Krogan, by the way.
Enemies everywhere! Locked and loaded.
Yeah, you can come back here. It's not a...
Hold the line! Locked and loaded.
I did not miss the chance of talking to people. You just have to leave and come back later, if I recall. Alright, there we go. Yeah, if you see the exclamation point on the map over here, that is, I think, where that general is supposed to be sitting. Yeah, there's a lot of space magic. Speaking of, I'm gonna get this out of my way. And I'll do it with space magic. Oh, hi.
Stop right there! Don't come any closer!
Warehouse workers. All the real guards must be dead.
Stay back, or we'll shoot.
This would be a good time to find somewhere else to work.
Yeah, right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I never liked Fist
That was a perfectly timed box dropping behind my head.
Quicker to just kill them.
Shooting people isn't always the
Also, I feel like Iron Man 3 stole that line. It's not like it's an uncommon line, but I feel like I still feel like Iron Man 3 stole it. I don't even like it here. They're so weird. I gotta reduce everything. Okay. Carrying too much crap. Oh, right. I forgot to actually equip Rex and to make Garrus not awful. He really should have sniper rifles. Yeah, I also am gonna. Yeah, I am gonna talk to Harkin. It'll just be a little while. I'm gonna have to come back to talk to him. Medium armor. I do need electronics. So anyway, what I was saying. So one of the things while I'm going through and doing this and some equipment and all that stuff, is I wanted to point out that there's a big difference in in how this is structured, how the plot of this is structured, as opposed to how we see the traditional hero's journey, the sort of masculine story. Yeah. And yeah, that is actually, oh yeah, Mrs. McCoy, thank you, I just saw that in chat. Yes, that is just what I was about to talk about. Needs one of those. Yeah, one of those. But yeah, that is, that's what I was really getting at in terms of the difference between these two sort of story modes and how we, yeah, that's better, and how we see different stories actually work differently. In the one case, we have the traditional sort of masculine hero's journey, which is typified in ancient legends. It's typified in and none of these are actually better. I just need to equip some these things. Anyway, so I think the largest difference, and the thing I want to point to, is that, so if we think of the traditional masculine, the hero's journey, right, where there's the masculine or male hero who begins a quest and sets out to achieve a goal and pursues the goal, right? They begin with an idea of what they want to accomplish and how they want to accomplish it. Okay, and then crap. I don't want this.
Enemy is everywhere! Go! Wait!
That'll do
Don't kill me, I surrender!
Where's the Quarian?
She's not here. I don't know where she is. That's the truth.
He's no use to you now. Let me kill him.
Wait. I don't know where the Quarian is, but I know where you can find her. The Quarian isn't here. Said she'd only deal with the Shadow Broker himself.
Face to face? Impossible. Even I was hired through an agent.
Nobody meets the Shadow Broker, ever. Even I don't know his true identity. But she didn't know that. I told her I'd set a meeting up. But when she shows up, it'll be Saren's men waiting for her.
Give me the location, now.
Here on the wards, the back alley by the markets. She's supposed to meet them right now. You can make it if you hurry. What are you doing?
The Shadow Broker paid me to kill him. I don't leave jobs half done.
We don't shoot unarmed prisoners.
How many people died because of him? He brought this on himself. Besides, we have more pressing concerns.
That Quarian's dead if we don't go now.
I probably need that, yeah. Alright, yeah, so I got 4 minutes, so let's go back. I'm worth noting I'm not being very careful about looting. Just because my inventory is absolutely full, so I don't really need to care about it. Didn't work, are you serious? So, part of the big difference between the sort of masculine and the feminine story structures, as I understand it, is in the case of the traditional hero's journey. Like I said, the hero begins with not just a goal in mind, but then further the plan that they make is a plan to specifically accomplish the goal, right? A step-by-step, typically, process to go from beginning point to finishing and accomplish the goal. By contrast, a story like this, which I see as what you might call a heroine's journey, works a little bit differently. And I think I'm about to enter a cutscene, so I'll hold off explaining what I mean by that for just a moment. Hold on. That's a special tool that will help us later.
Did you bring it?
Where's the Shadow Broker? Where's Fist?
They'll be here. Where's the evidence?
Oh,
no
never
way.
mind.
The deal's off.
Okay, she did it for me. Fine. You're not kidding me.
Fist set me up. I knew I couldn't trust him.
Were you hurt in the fight?
I know how to look after myself. Not that I don't appreciate the help. Who are you?
My name's Shepard. I'm looking for evidence to prove Saren's a traitor.
Then I have a chance to repay you for saving my life. But not here. We need to go somewhere safe.
We could take her to the human embassy. Your ambassador will want to see this anyway.
Kylie looks a lot better too.
Not making my life easy, Shepard. Firefights in the wards, an all-out assault on Korra's den. Do you know how? Who's this? A Quarian? What are you up to, Shepard?
Making your day, Ambassador. She has information linking Saren to the Geth.
Really? Maybe you better start at the beginning, Miss...
My name is Tali. Tali Zora Naraya.
We don't see many Quarians here. Why did you leave the flotilla?
I was on my pilgrimage. My rite of passage into adulthood.
I've never heard of this before.
Always
It
ask
is a
more
tradition
questions.
among my people. When we reach maturity, we leave the ships of our parents and our people behind. Alone, we search the stars, only returning to the flotilla once we have discovered something of value. In this way, we prove ourselves worthy of adulthood.
What kinds of things do you look for?
It could be resources like food or fuel, or some type of useful technology, or even knowledge that will make life easier on the flotilla. Through our pilgrimage, we prove that we will contribute to the community, rather than being a burden on our limited resources.
Tell us what you found.
During my travels, I began hearing reports of Geth. Since they drove my people into exile, the Geth have never ventured beyond the Veil. I was curious. I tracked a patrol of Geth to an uncharted world. I waited for one to become separated from its unit. Then I disabled it and removed its memory core.
I thought the Geth fried their memory cores when they died. Some kind of defense mechanism.
How did you manage to preserve the memory core?
My people created the Geth. If you're quick, careful, and lucky, small caches of data can sometimes be saved. Most of the core was wiped clean, but I salvaged something from its audio banks.
Eden Prime was a major victory. The beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
That's Saren's voice. This proves he was involved in the attack.
He said Eden Prime brought him one step closer to finding the conduit. Any idea what that means?
The conduit must have something to do with the beacon. Maybe it's some kind of Prothean technology. Like a weapon.
Wait, there's more. Saren wasn't working alone.
Eden Prime was a major victory. The beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
And one step closer to the return of the Reapers.
I don't recognize that other voice, the one talking about Reapers.
Are they some kind of new alien species?
According to the memory core, the Reapers were a hyper-advanced machine race that existed 50,000 years ago. The Reapers hunted the Protheans to total extinction, and then they vanished. At least, that's what the Geth believe.
Sounds a little far-fetched.
The vision on Eden Prime. I understand it now. I saw the Protheans being wiped out by the Reapers.
The Geth revere the Reapers as gods, the pinnacle of non-organic life, and they believe Saren knows how to bring the Reapers back.
The Council is just going to love this.
This is a lot to handle. They might just ignore everything we tell them.
No matter what they think about the rest of this, those audio files prove Saren's a traitor.
The Captain's right. We need to present this to the Council right away.
What about her? The Quarian?
My name is Tolly. You saw me in the alley, Commander. You know what I can do. Let me come with you.
I thought you were on your pilgrimage.
The pilgrimage proves we are willing to give of ourselves for the greater good. What does it say about me if I turn my back on this? Saren is a danger to the entire galaxy. My pilgrimage can wait.
I'll take all the help I can get.
Thanks. You won't regret this.
Anderson and I will go ahead to get things ready with the Council. Take a few minutes to collect yourself, then meet us in the tower.
Okay, Garrison Tally. Close to best squad. Alright. Anyway, so while I do some upgrading, because I need to do this, I'll continue what I was saying. I was talking about the sort of the heroine's journey, if you want to call it that, as sort of its own separate thing. She actually doesn't need first aid at all, which she can't even use it. So sketchy vibes. Oh, Kylie, you're getting sketchy vibes from Tally. Why do you say that? I'm not sure. I might address it if you've got a specific reason for it. Let me know. That's interesting. Definitely that. Meanwhile, I'll just sort of continue with the story structure idea, what I was talking about. So. No, I don't need that. That will hurt. So, what I was talking about here, and I have one more, darn. That's fine. There is this... oh, okay. How this story is set up is, I think, a key example of what I mean by the heroine's journey or the feminine story structure. Is that better? Yeah. Not to... Oh, I need another one of those. Darn. Okay. Sort of what I mean by the feminine story structure as opposed to the masculine one, because the primary difference, I think, at least I would say, the difference between them is that the feminine story structure, as I understand it, rather than beginning with a particular end goal in mind, and, well, I can't quite say that. That's not quite fair. But rather than beginning with a gradual step-by-step plan to get to an end goal, let's say. Instead, what we see is... let's do that. What we see is, from the beginning, a tendency to... for the plan to be, come up with a plan. Now, that's maybe a strange way of saying it. So I'll... Oh, she doesn't change. Let's do that. Oh god, that's so pink. That is so incredibly pink. Let's go with Colossus. Oh, that's very nice. I love that. It's great. Anyway, the plan here in a case like this, in this kind of heroine's journey structure, is not to go step by step towards the end goal. With a series of plans and make the plan, follow the plan, and get through the plan to the end goal. Like you would see in a typical sort of more traditional hero's journey type of quest, if you want. I have to go back to what's it called? Korra's Den. Rather, what you see instead is a gathering of allies from which a plan will come together. So I'm going to talk to this guy and then I'll continue.
My name is Samesh Bhatia. Forgive the intrusion, but I have nowhere else to turn.
It's no trouble. What can I do for you?
My wife was a Marine. She was in the 212 on Eden Prime. I've requested that my wife's body be returned to me for cremation, but the military has refused my request.
Why did they refuse your request? There's got to be some reason.
I don't know. All I know is that they have declared it impossible for my wife to be returned to me.
There's no reason for your wife's body to be held like this. Just wait here.
The man in charge of my case is Mr. Bosker. When I last saw him, he was in the expensive bar over there. Thank you for your time. I just want to give my wife a proper funeral, and the respect she deserves.
So, why I characterize this as a more feminine archetypal story is that at least the way I see it, and this is at least one way of looking at it, and it's the way that's, I think, intuitive to me at least, is seeing it as a kind of it's a reliance on relationships rather than relying on relationships as the primary means of achieving the goal, rather than as an intermediate means. Right? The hero, the masculine hero, does find allies that help him along the way, get him from A to B, and get him towards his end goal. But they are there for a particular, very specific purpose. Renegade option gets war assets. Paragon doesn't for this. Yeah, I know, but...
My goodness, you're Commander Shepard.
Yeah, it's also...
Your activities made for quite a briefing in the diplomatic corps.
A nasty thing to do, to use human remains as, for weapons testing.
Yes. A man named Samesh Bhatia is having some trouble claiming his wife's body.
Ah, Mr. Bhatia. A good man in an understandably frustrating position. I wish I could help him. Serviceman Nirali Bhatia died on Eden Prime, as Mr. Bhatia no doubt told you.
Also, this guy's really
slimy.
slimy.
Inconsistent with any type of weapon damage we've seen before. That is why her body is being held.
You're studying her injuries to learn more about Geth weaponry.
The tests we're conducting may lead to better defenses against Geth attacks. Respectfully, Serviceman Bhatia may save more lives in death than she did in life.
I understand what you're trying to do, but holding the body is wrong.
Commander, you of all people should understand how far we must go to protect humanity.
Not if we lose our humanity in the process. I am out here fighting to stop crap like this.
All right, Commander. You win. It was hard enough refusing Mr. Bhatia. I'm not going to risk an incident by refusing you. Tell Samesh that the body is being shipped back to Earth. I'll go now to see to it myself.
Yeah. Listen to Shepard, who isn't even a Spectre yet. Anyway, some of these exchanges just make a lot more sense when Shepard is a Spectre and can just throw that weight around. But anyway. I'm going to talk to Samesh again, and then I want to take the time to walk very slowly
again,
there.
Commander. Has there been any word?
And elaborate on what I've been trying to say for the last half hour.
I reminded Mr. Bosker what we're fighting for. Your wife is coming home.
Thank you. I will return home and begin my preparations. It does not bring me happiness, but it may bring me peace. Goodbye, Commander.
Mr. McCoy, you say cause an incident equals don't want to get shot. Yeah, especially because Shepard just got done with a massive firefight in the middle of the wards. Oh yeah, Krogan statue. That's also important later. Anyway, what I was saying, what I see as a heroine's journey, or the feminine, the archetypically feminine story structure. What sets it apart is that the plan is to find allies. Rather than allies being a part of the plan is itself to find allies, which will then help come up with a way of completing the goal. You noticed from the beginning of this, right? Even of just this little piece of the arc, in order to defeat Saren, there was no particular plan. It's not like we need to find this piece of evidence and we need to find evidence for what he did on Eden Prime, or it didn't have really anything to do with any of that at all. What it had to do with is, well, he must be up to something. And if he's up to something, we can find somebody who knows what he's up to. Hopefully. Just complain. But yeah, if at this point, it's not like Shepard went into this knowing that she had to talk to Garrus because Garrus was in on the investigation, and had to talk to Rex because Rex was a guy who needed the... No, she went to an information broker and said, all right, are there any leads? And that pointed her in a direction of a person, not of particular information. It's just, Rex. Rex is an important guy. He knows the Shadow Broker, and he's after Fist, who's after something about Saren. Okay, that's a lead. But the lead brings us to somebody, rather than something. Same with Garrus, same with Tali. Eventually, same with Liara, who's the last companion we don't have yet. The goal of this sort of first act of the game, this first section, is not to find some particular piece of evidence. It's not to find anything in particular at all. The goal of this whole first section is to find allies who can help. Then once we put these allies together into a cohesive team, into a group that can at least ideally do something, that's when we start putting a plan together. We only really put the plan together once the team comes together, because the team is the plan. It is the way I see this. The reason I see this as more of a feminine story structure is that it is it brings in more of the relational aspect of heroism than the personal and individual aspect of heroism, and it brings in the nurturing aspect over and above the conflict part. That isn't to say that a heroine like Shepard is not prone to conflict. She's carrying more guns than she knows how to use. Technically, because of my class, but whatever. the main thing about this that interests me is that the point of this story in particular is to gather a group together, and by their powers combined, if you want, or by their combined skills, by their combined knowledge, that a plan will come together from the group. And that becomes the plan. And I think BioWare loves doing this. I'll talk about a few other examples, but let me know what you think of this. If you guys
Eden Prime was a major
think there's some sense behind this.
Beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
And one step closer to the return of the Reapers.
Is that Diana Troy?
Wanted proof? There it is.
This evidence is irrefutable, Ambassador. Saren will be stripped of his Spectre status, and all efforts will be made to bring him in to answer for his crimes.
I recognize the other voice, the one speaking with Saren. Matriarch Benezia.
Who is she?
Matriarchs are powerful Asari who have entered the final stage of their lives. Revered for their wisdom and experience, they serve as guides and mentors to my people. Matriarch Benezia is a powerful biotic, and she had many followers. She will make a formidable ally for Saren.
I'm more interested in the Reapers. What do you know about them?
Only what was extracted from the Geth's memory core. The Reapers were an ancient race of machines that wiped out the Protheans. Then they vanished.
The Geth believe the Reapers are gods, and Saren is the prophet for their return.
We think the conduit is the key to bringing them back. Saren's searching for it. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Do we even know what this conduit is?
Saren thinks it can bring back the Reapers. That's bad enough.
Listen to what you're saying. Saren wants to bring back the machines that wiped out all life in the galaxy? Impossible. It has to be. Where did the Reapers go? Why did they vanish? How come we found no trace of their existence? If they were real, we'd have found something.
I tried to warn you about Saren and you refused to face the truth. Don't make the same mistake again.
This is different. You proved Saren betrayed the Council. We all agree he's using the Geth to search for the conduit, but we don't really know why.
The Reapers are obviously just a myth, Commander. A convenient lie to cover Saren's true purpose. A legend he is using to bend the Geth to his will.
50,000 years ago, the Reapers wiped out all galactic civilization. If Saren finds the conduit, it will happen again.
Saren is a rogue agent on the run for his life. He no longer has the rights or resources of a Spectre. The Council has stripped him of his position.
That is not good enough. You know he's hiding somewhere in the Traverse. Send your fleet in!
A fleet cannot track down one man.
A Citadel fleet could secure the entire region, keep the Geth from attacking any more of our colonies.
Or it could trigger a war with the Terminus systems. We won't be dragged into a galactic confrontation over a few dozen human colonies.
I can take Saren down.
The Commander's right. There is a way to stop Saren that doesn't require fleets or armies.
No! It's too soon. Humanity is not ready for the responsibilities that come with joining the Spectres.
You don't have to send a fleet into the Traverse, and the Ambassador gets his human Spectre. Everybody's happy.
Commander Shepard, step forward. It is the decision of the Council that you be granted all the powers and privileges of the Special Tactics and Reconnaissance Branch of the Citadel.
Spectres are not trained, but chosen. Individuals forged in the fire of service and battle, those whose actions elevate them above the rank and file.
Spectres are an ideal, a symbol, the embodiment of courage, determination, and self-reliance. They are the right hand of the Council, instruments of our will.
Spectres bear a great burden. They are protectors of galactic peace, both our first and last line of defense. The safety of the galaxy is theirs to uphold.
You are the first human Spectre, Commander. This is a great accomplishment for you and your entire species.
I'm honored, Counselor.
We're sending you into the Traverse after Saren. He's a fugitive from justice, so you are authorized to use any means necessary to apprehend or eliminate him.
Any idea where to find him?
We will forward any relevant files to Ambassador Udina.
This meeting of the Council is adjourned.
Congratulations, Commander.
We've got a lot of work to do, Shepard. You're going to need a ship, a crew, supplies.
You'll get access to special equipment and training now. You should go down to the C-Sec Academy and speak to the Spectre Requisitions Officer.
Anderson, come with me. I'll need your help to set all this up.
I thought the ambassador would be a little more grateful. He didn't even thank you.
What do you expect from a politician? Come on.
Right behind you, Shepard.
I think I already got that. Yeah, I did. All right. So, we are a Spectre now. So fantastic. Let's head on back down. So, what did you guys think of the what I was saying? So, I'll start reading that while you continue typing it. I'm still catching up with you. Actually, let's talk to this guy first while you finish typing.
I'm on a break.
Oh.
Talk to someone else if you need anything. I've got a lot on my mind.
Maybe I can help.
Well, maybe you can. You're a soldier, right? You ever head out to the Traverse?
I'm not just some soldier. I'm a Spectre.
A Spectre? I heard they were thinking about letting humans into the ranks. About time. Well, that means you can go anywhere you want, right? Even out into the Traverse? My brother's the captain of a ship called the Majesty. It was crossing the Traverse a few days ago when it disappeared. Just dropped right off the grid. And that usually means one of two things. They had massive mechanical failure, or they were attacked.
Neither one of those options leaves a lot of hope.
I won't give up on my brother. Not yet. I've got the coordinates for the last transmission from his vessel.
What kind of ship was it?
Don't let the name fool you. The Majesty's just a small trading vessel, only a handful of crew, but he kept it in good condition. I don't think mechanical failure is too likely. But they don't have any real weapons or shields. If anyone did come after them, the Majesty'd be a sitting duck.
If your brother is still alive, I'll find him. Give me the coordinates.
I'll forward them to your ship right away. Please let me know as soon as you find him.
All right, so Mrs. McCoy is saying in the chat, and I will note that that you know a lot more about narrative structure and plot development and all that than I do, because I am a mediocre writer at best. In fact, I find it basically impossible to write fiction that is not being co-written, as like a role-playing game. So I will defer to you on this one. I will continue. I'll let you continue while I talk to Admiral Kahoku, who I actually love. He's
Congratulations on becoming the first human Spectre, Commander. I'm certain you'll be up to the challenge.
I appreciate that.
My name is Admiral Kahoku. It's about time the Alliance got one of our own in with the Spectres. We need people like you to deal with our problems.
Is something wrong, Admiral?
I'm getting stonewalled by bureaucratic assholes. Nothing new. Maybe you can help me, Shepard. One of my recon teams was investigating some strange activity out in the Traverse. We lost contact yesterday. Now I can't get clearance to check it out. Suddenly it's a restricted area. But that doesn't apply to you, Shepard. Spectres can go anywhere they want. You could find out why my team dropped out of contact.
I'll find them, Admiral.
I appreciate that, Commander. I was running out of options. I'm gonna stay here and see if I can find anything out through official channels. Won't hold my breath, though.
All right.
I'll upload the info on where my team was last seen to your ship. Maybe you can get some answers.
So, like I said, I like him. Anyway, so, Mrs. McCoy, you, who, again, know more than I do, say, so to build off what you were saying in regards to the male versus female plot structure, male is an intense laser focus on goals and are marked by direct action to solve the problem. For example, get armed, go pick up the needed items, go get the plot MacGuffin, go confront the bad guy. Female plot, or technically I might say feminine plot, but small quibble, I'll talk about that in a moment. So the female plot is a general problem with a very open-ended, it moved, hold on. With very open-ended goals. There we go. where the protagonist goes and collects resources, which could be items, people, etc., in order to then formulate a plan to tackle the problem. Yeah, I think I will mention that I think the biggest aspect that I see as being the feminine aspect of this plot structure would be the finding allies, the people. The people are the crucial aspect of this, because then it winds up being it plays into the more, like I said, the more relational. The more relational and almost nurturing aspect that's sort of prototypical of the feminine as opposed to the masculine. Now, why I say feminine and masculine rather than female and male is that this is not strictly speaking sexual, for lack of a better term, or even gendered. It's symbolic. It is the masculine and feminine symbolic structures, which are the important parts here. Let me see the C-sec. Cool. Where am I supposed to be going? So it is the speak to the ambassador. Okay, and he's gonna be in the docking bay. Right, cool. But yeah, it is more the symbolically feminine, sort of mythological and symbolic structure. Now, yeah, no, don't worry about the word count. I'm just making this point to clarify, because I will say that this goes, like I said, it goes beyond simply a male protagonist versus a female protagonist. You can have a female protagonist in a more symbolically masculine story structure. You have them all the time. It's just that it isn't as it may not feel as fitting. Maybe we can say. It fits with a female protagonist to have this sort of story structure, I
Citadel
think.
security to pursue Saren, Garrus?
It happened 5 minutes ago.
Fighting a rogue specter with countless lives at stake and no regulations to get in the way, I'd say that beats C-sec.
I'm pleased that the imminent destruction of all organic life has improved your career opportunities.
I try and bring these two almost whenever I go to the Citadel because I love their elevator banter. Anyway. But yeah, that was really the distinction I want to make between masculine and feminine in terms of story structure and in terms of symbolism. It's like I said, it's not that they are, male protagonist, female protagonist. It's a little deeper than that. It's more having to do with, like I said, the kinds of stories that we can tell that fit a male protagonist better or fit a female protagonist better. I was mentioning that BioWare loves this kind of story structure, and it certainly applies just as well to the Dragon Age franchise, though not as entirely. And why I say that is because if you've played Dragon Age Origins, the first game, it very much has the same standard plot structure as this one. It has the same feminine story structure as I've explained it.
How do you feel about hunting a Turian?
Saren is either a traitor or a madman. Taking him down will restore the good name of Turians everywhere.
Things are different among my people. There are so few of us. We are expected to be loyal, even when it is difficult.
Yeah. Does that come up? It kind of comes up. Yeah, it does. That becomes a problem later. Kylie, that might be what you meant when you were thinking of when you mentioned that Tally might be kind of sketchy. Anyway, so let me talk to the ambassador. I'll pick up talking about Dragon Age for a bit, because it's relevant.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
This isn't right. The Normandy belongs to you.
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
20 years ago. That was like, I think, less than 15 years after first contact they're considering a human for the Spectres. Just another reminder of the way too crunched timescales of this game, of this universe. That is like the one world building thing that bothers me. Anyway.
Why didn't you ever mention this?
What was I supposed to say? I could have been a Spectre, but I blew it? I failed, Commander. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
I won't let you down, sir.
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharos system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
Sorry, Ms. McCoy, we have food at home, I guess. I mean, I guess I can end early and run out to McDonald's and get you fries if you're that desperate, but, darn it, you're right. Yeah, I completely skipped talking to Harkin and, the Turian General. I'm gonna have to go back and do that, before I actually leave. I think I have an option to do that before actually departing, because I think I have to, walk onto the ship. If not, I can come back. There's no limit on landing at the Citadel, so I'll just come back and do it. We get to watch the cool taking off sequence.
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
But your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
I'll take care of Saren. You take care of the political fallout.
Not exactly the answer I was looking for, Shepard. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Alright. Yeah, I should talk to him before, because if I leave and come back, he's probably gonna leave.
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Yeah, Kylie, it is a kind of sketchy Mickey D's, but I don't know, based on Mrs. McCoy's story there, it's a little yeah, it's kind of sketchy. I'm less prone to give a one strike and you're out rule for fast food, but it's understandable. So let's I'll still go there on rare occasion, and I don't have as many problems. Anyway.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
Why weren't you honest with me?
It's not something I'm proud of. I had a chance to become the first human Spectre, and I failed. Saren made sure of that.
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
You should tell the Applebee's story in the chat.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
This reminds me of Zaid's loyalty mission from Mass Effect 2. We'll eventually get there in like, a year, but yeah, this reminds me of Zaid's loyalty mission. If you've played it, you might know what I'm talking about.
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to
The one
shreds.
with the Applebee's story with the gift
was on
card.
fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated. Mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe,
Why'd you let him get...
I had a bad feeling about him right from the
The
start.
only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city. Mostly ruins now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Novaria respects. But they aren't popular.
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
So this is a heck of a story. So enjoy the story that Mrs. McCoy's typing in chat. I'm not gonna get into it out loud on stream, but check it out. It's in the chat. Enjoy.
In other news, Exogeny Corp is still denying reports that one of their survey teams has gone missing in the Hades Gamma Cluster.
Those sketchy
When
bastards.
asked why communication with the survey team was suddenly cut off last week, company officials refused to comment.
Anyway, yeah. So what was I saying? I was talking about the feminine story structure in other BioWare games, and Dragon Age really comes to mind because Dragon Age Origins has this same kind of plot structure. You start off in like the tutorial part where you're kind of getting introduced to the world, yada yada yada. Then something goes terribly wrong, and you're basically on your own. Because you're on your own, you have to figure out basically everything by yourself, and you have to figure out what to do. And so what you do is not to pursue specific goals to beat the bad guy, etc. What you do instead is you go across the entire map and you collect a bunch of allies who are going to help you beat the bad guy and do the thing, basically do plot stuff. But the plot stuff only is driven by finding allies and doing what they think that you need to do, because you work together to come up with how to move forward. And that's the sort of the key to the plot. Dragon Age Inquisition works roughly the same way, and that's the third game. The second game is kind of an outlier, but the third game also works similarly. Basically, the entire goal is find allies who will be able to help in whatever way that they can. And the interesting thing about that one that really plays into this is you can get different allies. You can sort of decide which allies to get, and that will fundamentally change how the story of the game goes. Mass Effect 3 does something similar, but to a much lesser extent. Where I'm going to what's it called? Is the cheater here yet at the casino? I'll go check on that. In any case, yeah, it is. So in both Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Inquisition, the first and the third game, we have this sort of this same kind of feminine story structure. So a female Grey Warden in the first game and a female
What? Everyone knows Fist is with the local criminals.
Oh,
Maybe
not anymore.
I would go shouting it from the mountaintops.
Anyway.
Yeah, unless you want to end up
Hey, good to see another human in here.
Anyway, so what I was saying is that the first and the third one really fit this structure. The second one, not so much. The second one is more just a sort of rise to power story of Hawk, the main character, which is very direct, very linear, very pointed, and it is a matter of there's something I want to accomplish and I will accomplish it. Now you gather very close, tight-knit, close group of friends and allies throughout. It's just that those allies, they do less to direct your actions. If anything, they drive the external aspects of the plot that you then have to deal with. So you meaning the main character. So it makes more sense, to me at least, for that to think of that as more of the maybe a modified version of the traditional masculine story rather than the sort of feminine heroine's journey.
Sorry, I'm kind of busy right now. So, what can I do for you?
What were you discussing with the Volus?
Who, Doran? Oh, I was just asking him about my sister. See, she worked for Doran before she left to... Ugh, sorry. I don't want to bore you with my problems.
I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Well, okay. My sister Jenna left here to go work at Cora's Den. The problem is, she's working as an informant for CSEC. You know, eavesdropping on the people there. If they find out what she's doing, they'll kill her.
Being an informant is a dangerous job.
That's what I've been telling her. I don't know. Sometimes I think she stays there just to spite me.
Do you know who her contact at CSEC is?
No. It's all very secret. Last time I asked an officer, he told me to stay out of it, for Jenna's safety.
Yeah, Jenna is also another important character. Important on the same level, in a sense, as Conrad Werner.
Maybe I could help her understand just how dangerous Cora's Den is.
Would you? That'd be great. Just don't tell her I sent you. Well, I should get back to work before I get in trouble. Thanks.
I'm waiting for someone else.
Okay. I do not want to play gambling, but I do want to scan a keeper.
Someone rigged this machine to funnel credits their way. I'll run a trace.
Deet. Someone's stealing. Yeah, so Kylie, I really just absolutely hate when waiters and wait staff do that sort of thing. They have access to the neat little tablet technology and don't use it. Or they do use it, but they just they use it for you, right in front of you, instead of letting you use it, which is how that's all supposed to work. It just bothers me. It bothers me. Probably not as much as it bothers my wife, but yeah, it does. It's irritating. Seems to defeat the purpose of how the whole thing works. All right, heading back to Cora's Den. But yeah, anyway, I think that is that's kind of my really rough, vague outline of the difference between these two kinds of story structures. And like I said, I I don't know enough about narrative structure and or even symbolism and whatnot to formulate this too precisely. I can't really explain my my thoughts on this matter as coherently and as clearly as I'd like. So I'd hope to eventually do a sort of collaboration with. There's Jenna and there's Harkin. I'd like to do a sort of collaboration with somebody who does know something about this to kind of talk it over.
Hi, I'll be with you in just a sec.
I need to talk to you about your work with CSAC.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, if you don't mind, I need to get back to my customers.
This isn't a game, Jenna. These people are dangerous.
Now you sound like my sister. Why is everyone so concerned about me? I can take care of myself. I need to go. I'm not a stripper. I don't get paid to stand around and look pretty.
She puts on a brave face.
I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't blame me for confusing you with a stripper. But whatever. And also, I also shot your boss, so there's that.
Let me drink it, please.
Okay, fine. He doesn't want to talk to me anymore. So you were right. I completely missed the opportunity to talk to Harkin. What about Septimus? He's over there, I think. Yeah, Mrs. McCoy says, I think it's more of a symbolic argument or sociological argument rather than philosophical one, and that's why. Yeah, it's really not my expertise. I don't know enough about the subject to be sure. This is just sort of an insight that I think...
What do you want?
That I think makes some degree of sense, that somebody who knows more about it might be able to put their finger on.
What's bothering you, General?
I've seen a lot of horrible things in my days, and there's only one woman in this damn galaxy that helps me forget it.
This is pathetic. What could a woman do to put you in this state?
Because she rejected me.
General
me!
Septimus.
Septimus
Oh my god, I need to make a meme
General
of
of the Turian fleet.
I'm making a meme out of that soon. Or you guys can. Feel free to steal that. That was a good idea, I think.
I think I can see why you're upset, but spreading these lies won't make it better.
Look, kid, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but don't waste your time.
General, did you ever win a battle by moping in a bar?
Ha, war. That's what this feels like, alright. How did I let it come to this? So you think it's that easy? Just straighten up and act like a general?
It damn well couldn't hurt.
Huh. Maybe you're right, Commander. Shaira's worth the effort. Even if she won't have me back.
This is no place for someone of your stature, General.
Alright. I'll go to her. After I've had a cold shower or two. Say, you're a bright kid. Would you be interested in earning a few extra credits?
What do you want me to do?
There's an L-Corps diplomat out there who believes Shaira gave up his secrets.
Why would he think such a thing?
Because I told him. Look, I just need you to convince him of the truth.
What makes you think he'll believe me?
You'll bring him proof. Take this datapad. It shows where I got my info. It will exonerate Shaira and convince the L-Corps.
Who am I taking it to, and where is he?
His name is Zaltan. He's an L-Corps diplomat. He's over in the embassies complaining about Shaira. Well, here's to soldiers acting like soldiers. Thanks, Commander. You know, you might make a good general yourself one day.
Navy doesn't have generals, but okay. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, Kylie says, oh my god, Septimus needs to get over himself. He's having a midlife crisis. Yeah, absolutely, first of all. Oh, hey, this guy. Hold on a second.
If you've got questions about Jenna, meet me at CSEC Academy.
Mr. Sketch.
What did you just say?
Push off. I never did nothing to you. Damn newcomers. Think they can run the place.
That was odd. What was he trying to tell us?
I guess we better go find out.
Anyway, So let's go do that. Anyway, so yeah, having a midlife crisis. Yeah, he definitely needs to get over himself. But to be fair, so this is a sociological thing as well, that it's something about Turian society, that they are first and foremost militaristic. Their entire society is based around their military, military and social service, or civil service. I should say. But that is the fundamental basis of society. So if he's a general, he's a kind of important guy, and and it's not like he's just kind of full of it on that. He really is, fairly important. People actually do think that people think highly of him, typically, and being like this is, I mean, obviously it's unbecoming. Right, it is not the kind of thing that that someone of his actual social status, because he really does have high social status, presumably, it's not the kind of thing that somebody like that would be do. What did I just do? Oh, I clicked. Oops. Okay. It is inappropriate for his status, and that is something that is this song. What is this song?
Binary Helix has settled out of court with a Krogan group that had accused the Genetics Corporation of fraud. The Krogan group had contracted Binary Helix to perform studies with a long-range goal of curing their genetic sterilization. The group later sued for a return of investment money when the study produced no viable results.
Anyway, yeah, that's what I was saying about Septimus and his station in life. If anyone thinks of or can figure out what the heck that song was, it's gonna drive me nuts. So I'll probably have to look it up at some point. Anyway, if you think of it, let me know in the chat. Either way, Septimus being a general and acting in a way unbecoming. It almost does sound like Felice Navidad. Not quite, though. I need to go to the observation deck. I forget what that is. I think it's over here. But yeah, it's something that you find to be very prominent in sort of honor-based cultures. The kind of place with very rigid social standings, like you would find in Turian society.
Hello again. Did you have any luck finding Shorban?
I found out you've been lying to me, Jalid.
Lying? Why would I lie to you?
You forgot to mention the data about the Keeper.
He told you? I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was afraid Shorban would kill me to get the data, so I was hoping you'd take care of him.
I'm scanning the Keepers for Shorban, but you two need to stop fighting.
You're helping us? But, well, if you
No,
say
Kylie,
so.
I don't think so. I don't know that, so I'm gonna see it. It's incredibly familiar.
Well, if Shorban can forgive and forget, then so can I. I appreciate the help, Commander. I better go get that data analyzed.
Hello, Commander.
Who's this guy? Oh, hey, it's Chelik. This guy I need to talk to about Jenna.
Come into my office. I want to discuss this in private. No offense, Commander, but what the hell were you thinking?
What's your tone, Chelik?
You could have blown Jenna's cover.
We were just getting information, Chelik.
I gathered that. It might seem cold letting her take all the risk, but we're keeping a close eye on her.
Do you really need to risk her life to get the information you want?
This job isn't easy and it's usually unpleasant. I'll take help anywhere I can find it. But since you're so concerned with her safety, maybe there's a way we can help each other.
Always thinking ahead, Detective?
As part of the job. Now are you gonna help me or not?
You're a smart guy, Chelik. Figure out another way.
I do have several contingencies. She's just my option A. I'll cut her loose, even get her out of Cora's den, no strings attached. But that still leaves my case unsolved. I could still use your help.
I'll help you, but I need some details.
I'm trying to track down an illegal arms producer. I just need some of their product. Thanks to Jenna's intel, I've learned there's a seller here on the Citadel. Meet our man named Jax. Pick up the mods and bring them back here. That'll give me everything I need.
Why are you so concerned about these mods?
We have access to some of the most sophisticated weaponry there is. It's what gives us our edge. What do you suppose happens when we lose that edge?
These give criminals an advantage we can't afford to let them keep.
I'll persuade Jax to tell me where these mods are coming from.
No. You tip Jax off and all my leads will disappear faster than you can say bad bust.
Where can I find this Jax?
Jax is down in the lower level of the markets. I'll send word through our channels that you're the buyer. Good luck, Commander.
Okay. Yeah, so, what was I just talking about? Before the song got me ridiculously distracted. Wasn't I supposed to... Hold on a minute. Assignments... Oh, yeah, so Jalid did kind of, Kylie, yeah, Jalid did kind of betray his friend, but only because he kind of thought that his friend was going to betray him first. And so he wanted to get ahead of it. And so basically the two of them, the two idiots, just didn't trust each other. And because they were doing something illegal. It comes back to something I was talking about way back when we were, a couple weeks ago when we were playing Red Dead. That's the hangar, I think, right? The Presidium, yeah. Crap, Emily's in the wards, isn't she? Darn.
In breaking news,
yes.
Chairman Burns of the Parliament Subcommittee on Transhuman
just give me a second.
Studies has been kidnapped by bionic
yeah, it kind of comes back to what I was talking about in terms of the kind of honor among thieves thing. It gives us it kind of brings us the problem of if you are unjust, if you're doing something that's outside the law, if you're doing something untoward, if you're doing something untrusting and untrustworthy, then chances are you're not going to be able to trust the people you're doing it with. If you can't do that, there's no way you're going to succeed in doing it, because you're going to wind up betraying each other, or if not betraying each other, at least not being able to work together as cohesively, because you're going to be putting up contingencies and you're going to be, acting against one another, like we see with Jalid and Chorban. Why am I here? Nah, he's fine. Where do I need to find her? Upper wards. Darn, I went to the wrong place. Well, I do need to go there. So, wait. I can talk to Sha'ira, and I need to talk to that Elcor. So I'll talk to the Elcor and then Sha'ira. Okay, so let me see. So you were saying, the Turian hierarchy, right? That it's, that's what I was talking. So the social relationships that we see in a very hierarchical, social organization like the Turian hierarchy, in a very hierarchical society, one which is very regimented, very structured like this. It works rather differently than what we would see in especially something like American society, where social relationships are fluid, where we have social mobility, where we're far more individualistic rather than the Turians, who are more collectivist. And because of that, we have less of a care for propriety, for acting according to our station. Right? If I don't act like a professor right now, that's not going to be scandalous to anybody, because I'm streaming a video game. I'm sitting here, quite frankly, in my pajamas while sitting in front of my computer playing a game, talking to you guys. Whereas in a more regimented society, in a more hierarchical, honor-based society, this could be construed as scandalous, right? Because I'm not acting in accord with my ordinary station in life. That social organization matters, and it's much more rigid. There's less putting on what you might think of as different masks for different people as well. And that may be something else to talk about, but maybe I can come back to that if it's interesting.
Strange greeting, human. This is really not a good time.
I will come back to the last point about the plot structures, but I'm going to talk to Zeltan first.
I know who revealed your secret. It was a Turian named Septimus.
Unbelieving, I know this Septimus, and he could not learn my secrets. The only way he could learn them is from the Asari consort.
Here, there should be proof enough for you.
Confused. This is difficult to fathom. If the Turian could learn this on his own, dismayed, anyone can discover my secret.
Septimus is a powerful man, and it wasn't easy for him to find.
Relieved. I suppose you are correct, human. Thank you for this information. Startled realization. I must speak with the consort. She will be most displeased with my actions.
Bigger.
Anxious request. Please, human, if you will excuse me, I must go now.
I'm sure she'll forgive you. It was an honest mistake.
Doubtful. Perhaps you are right, human. I can only hope so.
Those footfalls.
Thankful. That was a great thing you did, Commander. Approving. You see, Din, not all humans are as you say.
I'm sure the Earth Clan stands to profit from this in some way.
Yeah, we don't actually know what the secret was. We assume something that was revealed in some kind of really disturbing pillow talk, because the consort is, well, I mean, I guess she's somewhere in between therapist and madam. No, not the academy. I need to go over to the I need to go across the bridge. Yeah, Khalid, Kylie Khalid is still kind of a cinnamon roll, I guess, but he's still distrusting, and he's still kind of sketchy in what he was doing and how he was doing it. And then also, when you meet up with him, remember, he has a couple of bodyguards behind him with shotguns, so he's not exactly, perfectly innocent. Yeah, sex therapist. Yeah. So your last point. I assume you're talking about that it has to do with that it's a sociological or symbolic argument rather than being philosophical. Yeah, absolutely.
Septimus has sent word. Apparently, he sought the consort's forgiveness.
Yeah, I am more of a. I have a very narrow area of expertise, and I try very hard not to wander outside of that, unless it is something that I have some kind of an insight on. In this case, I think I have an insight. I just don't know if I have a correct insight. So I'd want to talk to somebody who does know a little bit more about the topic, who can point me in the right direction, make sure I'm actually talking about something meaningful and not just talking out of my ass,
Commander, I recently received a lovely note from Septimus. Thank you for speaking with him. Even the Alcor diplomat has withdrawn his campaign against me.
It was my honor to aid you.
You are too kind, Commander, but I would not expect you to help me out of the kindness of your heart. I also have one more thing to give you, if you are interested.
Oh, Mrs. McCoy, I didn't even see that. Give me just a second. I need to be very careful because this can accidentally lead to something I can't show on YouTube.
I'd be honored.
I offer a gift of words, an affirmation of who you are and who you will become. I see you. Your uniform fits as though you were born wearing it. You are a soldier through and through, proud, solitary, alone, but it gives you strength. That strength is what kept you alive when everyone around you was dying. You alone survived. You will continue to survive. This may be who you are, but it is not who you will become. It only forms the basis for your future greatness. Remember these words when doubt descends, Commander.
You have quite a gift, Shaira.
Thank you. Not everyone appreciates it as you do. Never underestimate the power of words. Here, Commander. In light of your efforts with the Alcor ambassador, I would like you to have this small trinket.
What is it?
A small mystery. I have never learned its use or purpose, but I sense it is time for me to pass it on. And now I must ask you to leave. I have done everything I can for you.
forget
my words, Commander Shepard.
I forget which
They will
dialogue
give you
option it
strength.
is that it is super innocuous, but it leads directly into a sex scene. It's there's a meme associated with it because it's one of those parts where BioWare does the thing where you may or may not be expecting when you accidentally romance somebody. So there is an option. I think it was the one where I think it was the if you say that's it when she gives you the piece of advice. Like, oh, well, yeah, I guess you could have gotten more, but it's not where I was going with that. So yeah, if you want to retype the comment, I'll answer it directly. I need the upper wards. It's near Flux. She's near Flux. Sure. If you want to retype the comment in detail, sure, I'd be happy to address it. If it's about the sort of the I don't know if you want to say ancient archetypes of hunter and gatherer, yeah, I think that is a good example of the masculine and feminine roles as they're sort of embodied.
Word on the street is that you've been busy. Congratulations on taking down Fist. I was sure he was a big player in anything going on here. Did you find anything in his office that could help me?
These OSDs might have the information you're looking for.
You've got Fist files? This could be even
Yeah,
bigger
that
than
one
I
it
hoped.
only sent to the
Here,
communal
Commander,
and social.
for your trouble.
What would my future cooperation be worth? Say, an interview when my investigation is over?
Exclusive? You talk to me before you talk to anyone else? That would be worth quite a bit, and I'd be very happy to compensate you accordingly. Here you are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should go see what's on these discs.
You know, I wish it, now that I think about it, this is actually kind of a common take. This is not just, something unique to me. Go back to the academy. I think, make sure. But that, was this? Am I supposed to go for this? Oh, geez, yeah, I guess. I don't know why it's too spicy of a take. If you really are interested, you can just walk into this room and ask out loud. You have that particular luxury. But yeah, I don't know why it would be that spicy of a take if it's about, well, I guess if it has anything to do with gender relations, it can be, yeah, if it has anything to do with gender relations or gender roles, I'm sure it could be too spicy for Susan WikiWiki. Meet the pickup. Where am I supposed to? Oh, that guy in lower wards. Got it. All right, that's somewhere I can go. This wards access corridor. That's impossible to find, but I'll hopefully find it. All right, so let's do those things. It looks like time-wise, we're going to end when we leave the Citadel. When we finally leave the Citadel, I think. Okay, welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that sociologically men are supposed to be the hunters. They go out and have their one mission single-mindedly, and women are the nurturers and gatherers and the really communal ones. So that relates more to the open-ended plot structures of the feminine plot structure versus the male of go do the thing, then do the thing, do the thing.
Yeah, I think that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why that would have been blocked, but again, maybe it has to do with gender roles.
You got my payment?
I didn't come here to look.
Show her the goods.
Looks good.
Damn straight it is. These mods are the best on the market. Now hand over my credits.
Here you go.
Here you go. Enjoy it. Come on, boys. We're done here.
Neat. I would have done that while we fought. I need to go back to CSEC and Ward's Access Corridor, wherever the heck that is. If I don't find that right now, I'll find it eventually, because that's a neat quest, but it's not something we have to do right now. But yeah, so that is that is a very good point. I think that we typically think of okay, so archetypally we do think of the masculine as sort of men as hunters, women as gatherers. Whether or not that is necessarily the case all the time, may not have been, but whatever. Symbolically speaking, at least that is sort of how things shake out. So if that is the case, right? If that is sort of an embodiment of this symbolic structure, then yeah, I think that's a very good point. There is more to it than just men do the hard physical stuff and women do the berry picking stuff, right? Which wild oversimplification of both of those for our purposes.
Corruption on the Citadel,
I think there's more to it than that as well. Is that and this has to do with early human social structures as well. But this carries through into our modern societies and beyond, presumably. But the sort of the masculine role is pointed. It's directed. The hunter, yes, relies on a hunting party. They rely on their friends, but they rely on their friends for a particular goal. They set out all together towards a particular goal. Whereas the feminine, in the sort of very early human sort of stage, relies more so on where was I going? More so on the not that. That was it? Hey, we're done. We're ready to leave. Oh no, this one. Return to Chuck. Okay. That the feminine role, that is the gatherer, if you want, is more communal. It is more back home, more working together with the community, and that the community is what determines what is to be done, rather than the community being an instrument for getting the job done, which is the more masculine role that we see embodied in the hunter archetype. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good, barely spicy take. I don't know why that was spicy, but sure, why not? I guess.
Commander, I hear you have something for me.
Here's your shipment, Shellick.
Excellent. This is everything I need. Maybe more than I need. Here, Commander, take this. I won't need it, and you've earned some payment for your work. I appreciate your help. It shows a lot of integrity. You didn't need to do anything after I let Jenna go.
Now I need to get these mods into evidence. Thanks again, Shepard.
I feel like they did 2 very different recording sessions with that guy. It's a little wonky. Anyway, I think that's about all on the Citadel. I can track down the stolen credits, but that is somewhere mysterious, and I don't even know. No, I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, Kylie, you're a psychology type person. Some of I'm wondering if this resonates in terms of the psychological differences between men and women, at least on average, or prototypically. It seems like it might. I don't know how exactly.
Chef, Serviceman Bhatia joined the Alliance military under the Deferred Education Plan. After finishing her service, Bhatia planned to open a restaurant. Instead, she gave her life protecting the colonists of Eden Prime. For more profiles in courage, or to explore opportunities in the military, please visit the Alliance Military on the extranet. Keyword, courage.
2 things about that. One, I think it comes back and you find out at some point, I think in Mass Effect 2, that her husband opened up a restaurant in her name, which is really sweet. The other thing about that, damn, that Normandy looks nice. The other thing about that is the what was it? The profiles and courage thing, right? That I forgot what it was. Something else about Nerali Bhatia. She comes back at something. Not she. She does not come back. She's dead. But something about that plot does in fact come back at some point. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. I know there is another sort of Easter egg that has to do with that, but I don't remember what it was. It's gonna kill me. Eventually, at some point, I'll be like, oh, that's the thing that had to do with what's her face, with Nerali Bhatia. Yeah. So the stealing things in one of the hallways, but it's somewhere. I will happen across it eventually, but for now, we're leaving.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
I want one of those.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Yeah, Kylie asks, wait, remind me of what you said on the masculine versus feminine again. I think you're right, but I want to make sure I'm understanding everything. Now is as good a time as any for me to just run through it briefly. My thesis here, my really tentative thesis, but this strikes me as I might be onto something here. Yeah, I'm probably just going to grind some stuff off camera. But that plot is actually kind of significant, and it does become important, so I don't want to get to the end of it off stream. So I will have to come back for at least the important part. Anyway, so yeah, the masculine versus feminine story structure, the hero's journey versus the heroine's journey, if you want. One of the things, so it depends on how the goal of the story or the goal of the hero is being pursued. In the traditional masculine hero's journey, what we always think of from time immemorial, the kind of thing Joseph Campbell talks about in The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and the sort of Jungian archetype of the hero, that whole deal. What that's talking about is the basic plot of that is a hero, usually with a group of friends, will pursue a goal and will find the means to accomplish that goal. To my mind, the clearest example of this and the most historically prototypical example is the Trials of Hercules. Hercules needs to prove his worthiness of Zeus, or Heracles, whatever you want to call it. And so he has tasks set before him. In some of these cases, he finds allies who help him through them, but those allies are means towards the goal, right? They're means towards the goal in the sense that those allies are going to help him with something specific that he already has in mind. Because of this, the allies are part of the journey, but they're not... Let me put it this way. The allies are part of the journey, but they are not part of the hero. That's, I think, the difference. Because while the hero's journey, the masculine journey, it moves from an initial starting point through a series of steps which are usually foreseen and planned towards an end goal, like pursuing the end goal directly. The contrast feminine heroine's journey, as I call it, as I've been calling it at least, rather than having a particular plan to get to the end goal and knowing what steps need to be taken to get there, it begins with having an end goal. In the case of Mass Effect, it is defeating Saren and stopping the presumed invasion of the Reapers. And so it has an end goal, right? But Shepard, in this case, does not know how she is going to accomplish that goal. So what she does is instead of finding steps to take to accomplish the goal, what she does first is gather around herself a squad, right? To use the term in the game, right? She gets a party together. She gets a group of fellow heroes over whom she is the definitive leader. The hero, the prototypical hero, does not need to necessarily be the leader. I think, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think that the prototypical feminine heroine does need to be the leader because she is the one who brings together this disparate group of people. In this case, brings together the squad of the weird eclectic group that she brings onto the ship. And only by bringing together this group and kind of binding them together into a cohesive unit do their skills, their knowledge, and their abilities sort of mesh together to form a way of accomplishing the goal. Right? The way of accomplishing the goal only comes together through through how the people work together to do it. Right? It's not a matter of you need Garrus because of his connections at CSEC in order to accomplish this goal. No. The reason Shepard needs Garrus is because he is Garrus. And because there is something that he is contributing not just to the quest, but to the team. And the team is what is then accomplishing the ultimate goal of defeating Saren. And they have to work. It's not just that Shepard needs to use different individual skills and abilities from all of them. It's that they have to come together to form a cohesive unit that is then going to accomplish the goal. And in Shepard is the kind of communal or sort of community forming, or you might even say nurturing figure, excuse me, that brings in this, call it a group of friends, in order to get the thing done. So Kylie asks, so the masculine side is more one track, and side characters are a means to an end. The feminine side works out what to do along the way and utilizes the side characters as part of a whole. Yeah, I think that's a good way of summarizing it. I think so. If nothing else, it is something very much like that. Just because that it focuses on the group which is organized beneath the heroine, if you want to think of it that way, right? That Shepard in this case is the archetypal heroine, but she's the archetypal heroine because of the squad that she leads. Right? As I think she winds up saying way later, I think in the third game, there's no Shepard without Vicarian. We talked about Garrus Vicarian. And that really goes for any member of the squad, just about. It's hard to think of any of the at least core cast of any of the games that Shepard's journey would be complete without. And that even includes some of the little side characters. Even some of the DLC only characters, which bothers me a little bit, because like Zaid in the second game, DLC only, super important to Shepard's growth and Shepard's journey. Excuse me. I don't know if it would quite be the same without. I don't know if it would be the same squad without Zaid as a member. It might. He doesn't play as important of a role at the end of that game, but maybe not. Anyway, that last little bit was a tangent, right, about DLC characters. But you get the point here about how it's very much dependent upon and built upon the group of heroes rather than the singular hero who has allies. It's if you even want to think of it this way, it's collective versus individual in a sense as well. Kylie asks, what was the psychology part of the question? It was about whether you think this might have a connection to the differences between masculine and feminine psychology. In terms of what you just said previous, we think of men as being more one track and women being better multitaskers, at least, in the aggregate, on average, sort of thing. At least that's as far as I understand things. Maybe I don't. So I'm wondering maybe that there might be some kind of connection to psychology there as well. Maybe. Again, that's another thing I'd have to defer to somebody else on. Right, I'm going to let Shepard do some talking for a bit, unless you guys have more questions.
Captain Anderson should be the one in charge. It's like I'm stealing the ship from him.
Yeah, the captain got screwed. But it's not like you could have stopped it. Nobody's blaming you. Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy. For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of. Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too. Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped, and I promise you all, we will stop him.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
The Captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am.
Window. Yeah, see, even in that, we really see, I think, an illustration of what I was talking about as well. And maybe, I will say, maybe this is in part because I play Shepard as Paragon rather than Renegade, because I think part of that is it does make a really significant difference. We think of, Paragon as the nice option and Renegade as the mean option. I think it is a little more complicated than that. Paragon, the blue option, the cooperate, the nice, the diplomatic option, if you want, is more. That's gorgeous. More fundamentally, though, I think that the Paragon option is more fundamentally about. Oh, hey, this quest. The Paragon option is more fundamentally about cooperation, and cooperation in particular with the other non-human species. So it is the... Oops. My bad. So it's about humanity becoming part of and joining the galactic community and becoming part of the galactic community and doing things as part of that galactic community. That is, I think, a large part of what makes the Paragon option what it is, whereas the Renegade option, the one that's less diplomatic, that sort of thing, is, I think, based more so on humanity first, that sort of thing, on what can we do for the benefit of humanity, and what can we do ourselves, rather than what can we do with everybody. Oops, I accidentally clicked out. I want to do a little exploration because that'll about wrap us up. I'll read Kylie's question when she is done typing it. In real time, she's still going, so I'll let her continue with that. I know the first thing that we are going to do is get Liara, so we are going to go there first. But first of all, I just want to go to these unimportant places, I guess, call them that. Let's go to Hydra. Actually, wait a minute. We were at Variant. I can't go there. Okay. She's going to continue. Meanwhile, I'm just going to zoom. Let's watch. This is gorgeous. I love this cutscene. I can't wait to see this with the nice textures.
Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in. I'll patch it through.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
What do you need, Admiral?
There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here.
Bullshit.
Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground of the VI core and manually disable it.
Yes, Edie. This VI is not exactly a VI and becomes a major character in the second game. Yeah, this is Hackett's full of it. He's definitely hiding that. And this brings up another thing I mentioned last week. I love this distinction between artificial intelligence and virtual intelligence. Virtual intelligence does stuff that intelligence does, but without actual intelligence. Artificial intelligence is you made something intelligent artificially. Really cool. And this actually kind of ties into something I was talking about last time as well, that I think artificial, if strong AI is possible, and I'm very skeptical about that, it would have to arise more or less naturally. It's not something that we could simply program, I don't think. So something like this might be the way it could be done.
Don't worry, Admiral. I'll take that thing out.
I know Spectres answer the Council, but you're still human. You're still part of the Alliance military, and right now we need you. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and automated defenses. You're the only one that can pull this off, Shepard. Good luck.
Neat. All right, so, Kylie, here we go. I would say, personally, since I haven't done too much into gender-based psychology just yet, men do have more of a one-track sort of way as far as achieving a goal. Women tend to find multiple solutions when it comes to achieving a goal. However, I would also say that it may not have much to do with gender, as it does with the individual themselves, of course. Again, talking... I'll get back to you. I'll continue in just a second. I'm talking more, in this context at least, talking more in terms of, I don't want to say averages, because averages isn't right. It's not exactly averages I'm talking about, but more like archetypes, right? Symbolic archetypes. What do we mean by masculine, not just male, feminine, not just female? So that is clearly there will be gratuitous individual differences, and probably the individual differences will be more significant within each category than they will be between the two, at least to a large extent. We're rational beings. Of course, we're going to be significantly different. So, anyway, to continue, where were we? I can carry on 15 different... So this is Kylie again. I can carry on 15 different conversations at once, but give me multiple tasks, and I can only focus on one at a time, partially because of my ADHD. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't ADHD significantly more common in men? Although I've read a little bit about that being a difference in diagnosis techniques, so really big grain of salt there, and I probably don't know what I'm talking about. So Kylie, so I think it's very much based on the individual rather than gender. Okay. Yeah, so maybe there isn't as much of a connection there. Yeah, maybe. This also actually this does bring up another question that we could raise about this sort of thing. That do differences that we observe in gender psychology in particular, or social expression or whatever. Gender is social expression of sex, whatever. Do some of these statistical differences are they really just manifestations of embodiments of archetypes, rather than the other way around? In other words, rather than getting our archetypes from extrapolations from individuals, do we have our archetypes innately or something like that? Or something Platonist, if you want to go that route. And then we sort of map on individual behaviors to those archetypes. I actually kind of lean in that direction, because again, I'm more or less a Platonist in terms of universals like this, in terms of archetypes, in terms of paradigms, that kind of thing. I do think that the archetype really comes first, rather than the individual cases. This really just comes down to a really age-old enough controversy of empiricism versus rationalism. This may have to be a video I do at some point, a lecture I do at some point, just because this is a major difference in methodology. Do we rely primarily on the a posteriori? In other words, extrapolating from particular data and then going from there to to find trends from that data, and that's where we get our universals? Or do we start with abstract universals and then particularize and sort of go in the opposite direction? That would be the rationalist aspect, or the Platonist aspect, the Platonist sort of methodology. Again, of the two, I mean, as a scholastic, I think both of them have really important places, but I do tend more towards the latter, towards the rationalist, than the empiricist. But again, minor point, I guess. So we're at Suba. What system are we on? Hydra? Yeah, Suba. It's Greek. It's ancient Greek. Suba is a standard Neptune gas giant. The upper cloud decks, its hydrogen-helium atmosphere tinted blue by traces of methane. I love this, because this in particular is a boring planet, right? Compared to some of the other ones. This is not particularly interesting in itself, but I absolutely love that every planet in every system you can go to has at least a little description that differentiates itself and matches onto what the planet looks like, and you get to see all of them. So neat. I got some helium. Is Vermalis any more interesting? Vermalis, more stuff about, hey look, primitive life, neat. More stuff about geographic features.
Message coming in.
Oh.
Patching it through.
General distress call. Sacred Angel medical transport.
Oh.
Critical system failure. Losing power. Emergency landing. Argos. Communications failing. Life support. Emergency transponder. Won't last. Please hurry.
Ah. Okay, cool. We can do this before we wrap up. So Metgos is a large terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Its hot surface is mainly composed of yada yada yada, mineralogical and geographical details. Inhospitable and dangerous, okay. Expeditions must be well prepared, okay. Venusian pressure cooker. And then we also have all of this neat actual scientific information, which, as far as I know, a lot of this is actually calculated properly, which is really, really cool. Again, I love this. So let's land in our Mako, and let's check out the surface. I love this. I genuinely love this about the Mass Effect series. I probably want... Hayden? Garrus? No, I don't. I want Garrus. Yeah, I want Garrus and Tally. I might need tech. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Where am I going? Debris, signal, anomaly. Let's go there first. Oops. That way. Oops. Boing. Oh no! So I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky recently as well, off stream. It is not the kind of game I would want to stream. It is very, very grindy, a lot of resource gathering and stuff like that. So it's not exactly the thing I'd want to play on stream. How do I get out? Oh, okay. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Neat. Rare element. So I'm a little bit rusty on these controls and accidentally use the buttons for
Looks
the
like
other
the signal's coming from that wreckage.
Careful, Commander.
I
I've
don't
got to
trust
ask you
this.
about this.
at all.
Get! It's a trap.
Great. I guess. So Kylie, on the subject of ADHD, just looked it up, and ADHD is more prevalent in males, but girls who are diagnosed are the ones predominantly on the inattentive side, rather than males. And it exploded. That was unuseful. It's completely unhelpful. Okay, fine. Alright, well, that was a bust. Okay, it's also genetics. Let's go there next. I know my dad and granddad all had ADHD and got tested to see if I have it. Mild ADHD, so that's a lot for me. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that interesting. I think that kind of maps on with what I was thinking, though. Though I guess I didn't really know so much about the that women tended to have. When they are diagnosed, they do tend to have more inattentive effects. Is that in? I'm wondering, is that in contrast to the sort of hyperactivity that you would find? Would that be more prevalent in men or men and boys, males, I guess? Wondering if that would be the case. Again, I don't know much about it, so. Like I said, I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I've mentioned this on stream or if in a video or whatever. I've certainly mentioned in class that I've long suspected I have some probably mild form of ADHD and or possibly something on the autism spectrum. Again, mild and managed and that sort of thing. But again, entirely undiagnosed if it is there. Whee! Oh. How do I repair? But yeah, that is something to, okay, let's see here. I think I have everything I need. Okay, so yeah, Kylie, you can look that up for us. That'll be neat, because that's something I'm curious about. If that is, if there is that sort of correlation there. Again, it's not something I know too much about. Like I said, I've done a little bit of research on my own behalf, really. And other than that, it is just sort of the things that you learn from teacher training type things, the kind of things that show up in instruction seminars and those sorts of things, which is really honestly shallower than you'd get from any kind of really formalized training, or hell, probably shallower than you'd get from a really, really extensive Google search. But it's condensed down into the really need to know for what students are dealing with, such that you can help as best you can, that sort of thing. To accommodate or that sort of thing. Anyway, so yeah, I think my the big thing I really wanted to talk about tonight was that masculine feminine story structure. And I think it's especially relevant given that tonight this stream was the part where we were mostly getting our companions, and that really does, I think, tie in with the difference. That the importance of the companions, and the importance they have for the plot in particular. What in the world? I can't see. Scooch. that's a corpse. That's delightful. It's a Turian corpse. Delightful. Okay, that'll do it. That's all. That's all we got here. So let's head back. I do this a lot with the. I'm probably going to do a lot of the galaxy exploration stuff, things like that off stream. I do want to get as close as I can to completionist kind of thing. Get as close to 100% as I can. But I don't want to bore everybody with, an infinite series of wandering around, the surface of random planets. Oh yeah, save before those minigames where you screw one up, you can't recover it. Yeah, I should have noticed that. Should have done that. Remind me. Not that that'll help because there's a 20-second lag. Yeah, Kylie. Kylie says hyperactivity is more prevalent in males. Neat. Cool. I buy that. Especially given that in elementary school I had 2 desks that I had to, I walked between them when I couldn't sit still. So that was cool. I love that my teacher allowed that. Anyway, so Canram. Here, this is the kind of deep lore that I love about these planets. Canram is the site of Warlord Shiagar's defeat by Turian peacekeeping forces during the Krogan rebellions. We don't, at this stage of the game, if you're not familiar with it. Neat, yes, thank you. I will take a look, because I'm always curious about things that I might have. Thanks, Sally. What's neat is that at this stage of the game, you know nothing about any of this. Like Krogan rebellions, what was that about? That Shiagar, who is a common name that you keep coming up with. So while this band Shiagar was not especially powerful, Shiagar was a female warlord and one of the few remaining fertile females. Again, this ties in with that little bit about their whole sterility plague thing that was mentioned in the elevator. This is the genophage. This becomes a huge, important thing later on. Actually, in all three main games, and even in Andromeda to an extent. She had, through viciousness and cunning, parlayed her unique value into a position of power. Krogan males competed for the right to join her band and lie with her. When Shiagar's death was announced, vengeful male Krogan admirers near and far swore blood oaths against the participating Turian crews. In the end, several thousand of the Turian participants were killed in open combat or through assassination. To this day, many... Oops. Let's try that again. To this day, many Krogan proudly proclaim that they have the blood of Shiagar. Turian insignia. Hey, I guess it was a dead Turian. Oh, yeah. Mrs. McCoy, you could have found out if you talked to Avina next to the Krogan statue. Yeah, Avina is the Citadel AI, or not AI, sorry, the VI. And yes, that is probably the case. Kylie just got it. Thank you. Anything else in here? They are... Oops, sound cut out. Sorry about that. Anything else interesting? Hey, check it out. It was struck by an asteroid recently. Cool. Alright, let's look in this system, see if there's anything interesting here, and then it's getting pretty close to midnight, so after this, I think we will call it. So if you guys have anything else you want to discuss or want to talk about, now would be the time. Tentau. I'm not going to land here now. I'm going to do this on my own time, off stream. I'm fairly confident there is a Thresher Maw here, but we'll find those during story plots, so... If you're not familiar, Thresher Maws are big, scary monsters. Basically dune sandworms, but they're young or carried on interstellar currents. we find here? Rare element. Okay. Always have to check the asteroid belts. Demonok. Neat. See, cool little story here. This is incredibly, incredibly pointless. This never becomes important in all 3 games, but it is just sort of left here in case future writers actually want to do something with it, because there's always the option there, you know? Which is another really neat thing to do, especially if you're starting the first game in what is almost certainly going to be a trilogy. That is really a thing to do. So, okay, we already were there. Salto. Alternatively, you get crap like this. It has no remarkable features. Anyway, okay, that's cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for the boring planet. All right, anything else in the asteroid belt? Always make sure. What's that? Ah! Aha! See, that's why you always look. Your little glint. Alright, neat. Oh, hey. Tally determined was quarried in nature. Found an abandoned freighter. With a Prothean data disk. Very cool. Alright, I think that's all. Alright, well, if that is all, I'm gonna exit from... Let's solve this cluster. Exit from here. And we're gonna save. Manual save. And I think that'll about do in terms of tonight. I think we can just about wrap it up. Good talk. I'm really glad that I finally got to talk about this whole masculine-feminine story structure thing. As vague as it was and as rambly as it was, I am hoping that at some point in the future I manage to talk to somebody who really is a professional on, or at least knowledgeable on this sort of subject. To kind of get an idea, to kind of really to settle this, to hammer out the details and what I'm thinking of, and to see if there really is something to this, and see if there is this other archetypal kind of story in addition to the hero's journey that's really, a thing. Part of the trouble is I can't really think of other examples of this sort of feminine story structure. Really, the main ones that come to mind are BioWare games. Dragon Age and Mass Effect are the big ones. There are others. There are some minor ones I've thought of before. It is pretty late, so none of them pop into mind just at the moment. But if you guys do ever think of them, let me know. Put them in the comments. Put things that might match this in the comments of this video. Put it on the Facebook page. Or you can just send me a message or whatever. This is something that I've been kicking around in my mind for a long while, and I'm glad I finally took the 3 hours it took to hammer out the details on it, among a few other things. So, all right, if that is all, that's all I've got. So, with that, I'm going to say goodnight to all of you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you all next time. Also, look forward to a video on another one on free will. Follow up on the one on Anselm. This one's going to bring in SCOTUS and what is called the stomach principle. You'll see. It'll make sense. Bye, everybody.